welcome to scr1tno Knitting Project Podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family, 3 cats and a dog. Today is Thursday the 3rd of September 2020 and this is episode 70. Wow. Welcome if you're a new viewer. Welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my podcast all about my knitting and a few other crafts that I do during the week. And it's all about my rolling rotation of whips, which is how I get through everything, hopefully. Fingers crossed. The idea is I work on a different project each day over a 6-day rolling rotation, because some days I'm busier than others. So if I roll it over 6 days, each project gets to be worked on a different day of the week. So that's it, that's theoretically. So let's go into my first section, which is admin. We've got Tuna Salons going on at the moment. We have a square a day cowl, which is where we are knitting on a square a day on a cozy memory blanket, or we're doing a stripe on a granny stripe blanket, or pretty much anything that you want to do on a daily basis. It has to be a blanket, I think, probably, or a quilt. And then also we have a jumper cowl, and the jumper cowl is going on until the end of the year. We'll be drawing from that in the new year, in January 2021. So we're all knitting garments, adult size garments for that one, please. So that's our 2 cowls. At the moment they're all just happening in Ravelry, but I'm trying to work on something else, and I will come up with some other. In fact, I think they have both already got hashtags, but we'll need a check-in hashtag for the square a day, because we're heading up to the check-in, which is the end of September, and that will be for 274, whatever your doings. Right, I'm going to just whiz through my comments from last week, because I had a problem with answering comments because YouTube didn't show them to me, so I'm going to go back to the old-fashioned way of doing it. Julie I answered, which was the girl who I'm doing the workout with every morning. I have now linked that under the show notes. Apologies, I forgot to do that. Jean, I am so looking forward to seeing your jumper knit in Sherry Iris yarn. That's fantastic. Brenda, would it be possible if you show how to connect jelly rolls together? It's a paid for pattern, so I'll need to check on the pattern and see if there's a tutorial or anything that Mara does, and if so I will link her for you. If not, then yeah, I will show you how to do it. Ali, I would love to take credit for that project bag, but it was Sherry's idea. I just bought the bag. So Ali's saying that she's got a skirt that she's kept from her childhood that's got embroidered flowers on it, and it's this bag here. Sherry's done this with an old tablecloth, and she's turned it into a project bag. So Ali wants to do the same with this skirt, and yeah, it's a fab idea. I love this bag. Jane, yeah, Bogner, I loved it. So lovely. I'm looking forward to going back there at some point to have a proper explore, because it was kind of the end of our journey. So we stayed there and had the picnic at the sort of the side of the sea and watched the waves come in, but we didn't have a chance to explore. So hopefully in a couple of weeks you might get a bit more of that, because this Friday we're not doing a Friday adventure, because we went to our favourite restaurant for dinner, because it's the new month and we're trying to go once a month now that we can. And Brenda's saying that YouTube has stopped sending her email notifications of podcasts I've subscribed to. Yeah, I don't know what YouTube's doing at the moment. It's definitely doing something odd. So that's my run through my comments. Thank you so much for commenting. I love reading them. And yeah, as long as YouTube's shown me them, I have actually read them. If you'd like to contact me and you've left a comment underneath the video and I've not got back to you either on the podcast or on the comments, just email me on scr1tno@outlook.com. I think that's it for admin. Shall we go into the knitting content now? So day 1 is socks. I have an FO. These are the Winter Rose socks, which is a pattern by Curious Handmade from the First Sock Society. I have converted them to shorties and put a little picot cuff on them. There are 2, I promise. There are 2. There we go. I've knit them top down with a heel flap and gusset, and obviously done contrasting toes and cuffs. This was a sock set from Lay Family Yarn. It was part of the May Walkies Club. Really pretty. I've loved using this. And yeah, you can just about, I think, see the pattern. You can really see the pattern when they're on my feet. Now I'm keeping these for next spring. I'm going to put them in a box with many other pairs I get finished between now and then, I guess. I'm certainly on a shorty sock lace knitting kick at the moment. I'm really enjoying them. So yeah, they're lovely. I really love that. That's a lovely pattern. I would very much recommend it. And next up is this one, which is in my Sherry Iris bag. This was the whip I was missing from a couple of weeks ago. Last week I've managed to finish the first sock. It's just a Rose City Roller, which is a pattern by Mara Catherine Bryner. And I am into the second sock, so I've done the roll at the top, and now I'm going down the heel flap. And the yarn is a twisted lemone in the CatMint colourway. It's really pretty. So pretty. I'm hoping the lighting's okay because I'm kind of blowing out on the camera, but hopefully on the camera screen at the top, so hopefully it's okay when I watch it back. Yeah. So these are my, if I need to run out of the house in a hurry, socks. I'm not actually having to run out of the house in a hurry that often these days, but I did last week go see Katie and Dan's new flat and knit on these on the journey down. Mind you, it was also sock day, but it's because when it's sock day and I go out, I don't want a complicated pattern. And I'd actually just finished those, so this was the only sock I had at the time. Why am I justifying why I knit on it? It's a sock. I love sock knitting. It's stripy yarn. What's not to love? So this will be another one in my Shorty Socks collection. Oh, and just in case, us knitters, I think we're slightly self-delusional, because just in case I got the whole of that second sock knitted in the hour and a half I was going to be out, I took another yarn with me just in case. So this is probably going to be my next stripy one, and this is from Stray Cat Socks, and it's Dana. I think that's the colourway. It's really pretty. So I think this will be my next one. But yeah, it just made me laugh because, yeah, the likelihood of me doing an entire sock on an hour and a half, I'm quick, but, you know, not that quick. So that's that one. So because I'd finished my lace socks, there is a new cast on, and that is hanging out in another Sherry Iris bag. And these are the Honeybee Dance socks, which is also from the Sock Society. It's the last one of Sock Society 1. The other patterns that are in that collection aren't patterned on the foot, they're just patterned on the leg, and as I'm not knitting the legs, I've not done them. So this is the last one I'm doing from Sock Society 1, and then this is hanging out in a needle cozy from So Raimi. Right, now this is going to give you a really good example of what I do with a lace weight, not lace weight sock, no, a lace sock. Oh dear, a lace sock with knitting on 2 circulars. So these are the Honeybee Dance socks, and that's the pattern at the front. I don't know whether you can see it. It's a pretty cabled pattern with some lace, and I've got stitch markers marking my lace sections. Now, because I'm still on the gusset decreases, I have one set of circulars on that side gusset decrease. I have another set of circulars on that side gusset decrease, and then I have another set of circulars on my lace. So I have 3 on this one. Now, you can do it on just the 2 and decrease on that side, but I just find it really fiddly. So to speed things up, I find this a lot quicker. I mean, I know it looks like I've got a lot of bits dangling, but in actual fact, they just stay out of your way because of where they're kind of positioned in the sock. They naturally fall away from you when you're knitting. so they don't get in your way at all, which is cool. And then also I don't need to have a stitch marker for my decreases or anything, because I know I'm decreasing just before 2 stitches before the end of whichever needle I'm on. So yeah, this is going to turn out to be a really pretty pattern, so I'm looking forward to doing that, to seeing that come alive. And I am using, this is a sock set from Homespun House. There we go, and it was April 2019, and it's Perennial Blooms. That's Homespun House. I'm assuming at some point you saw this as a sock set on the podcast. I am trying to use some of this major amount of stash up. So that's the yarn in the cake. I need a new ball winder. My ball winder is dying. It's making the most awful clicking sound now when I'm using it. And that's the little mini that goes with it. I'm not convinced, I have to say. I'm not convinced about the pink and the orange, but you know, I trust the dyers. But I'm going to have to see this finished, I think, as to whether I think the pink goes with the orange. But it doesn't matter. It's a tiny little shorty sock. So if it's not to my taste, I'll still use it and I'll still wear it. But yeah, just not sure about pink and orange together. But I love it. And I did my trick of marking the first and the last stitch for the picot. So I didn't twist my picot. So that's my current lacy sock, and now that I've kind of got into the pattern, I probably could take that one out in the car with me, because oh, that's really funny. Apparently I've tried to add up 18 and 14 and got something ridiculous and put on the bottom of it, don't add up late at night, on the bottom there. Oops. Yeah. Probably the reason why I didn't start the socks. So yeah, so that's my day 1 socks. Day 2 is currently super secret knitting Christmas stuff that I can't show on the podcast because people watch it. But after Christmas, this section should come back, or at least, actually, to be fair, it should come back sometime in December. Otherwise, I've got a problem. Okay, right. Day 3. So day 3 is garment day, and my current one is hanging out in this lovely bag stitched by Mrs. D, the lovely Paula, who also has a podcast. And this is my Nora George EDT revisited. Now, if you are a new viewer, you won't know the story, but this got washed, a too hot a wash, and the body was made in an MCN. And it felted really badly. So I've cut the body off, and I have re-knit the body because I had enough leftover yarn to do it. So it's not MCN now, it's merino nylon. So the top was a merino nylon stellina, and then the bottom was an MCN, and you can see where I'm re-knitting it. That's where it had felted. So I cut that off, and I am whizzing down the body. I've decided not to do the patterning this time round, just because, you know, I can't be bothered. And I'm using the spring colourway from Nora George. So that is a 75-25, and then that is a 70-25 5% stellina, which I knit the top with, so I had a little bit of that left. So I'm hoping that's going to be enough to knit the body. If not, I've got a Sherry Iris that will go as well. Nothing against the yarn. It's an awful lot more against my family helping me to do my washing. It's like, oh dear. You know when somebody does you a favour, but they really don't. And you have to be grateful. But anyway, I thought rather than just throw this, I would re-knit the bottom, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks this will get done. It's getting quite long now. I managed to do quite a bit last week, from where that little fluffy one is. There's quite a bit, bearing in mind there's quite a lot of stitches on this. Getting there. I reckon probably not the same amount again, probably half again, and it'll be done. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, although it's just about to go into the rotation, which is weekdays rather than weekend days, so it will get less knitting time, so I have less time to knit during the weekdays than I do during the weekend. But that's day 3, garment day. So day 4 is crochet day, and that's been swapped into an autumn bag, and this is a bag by Ellie of Craft House Magic. I love this bag. It's very autumnal because it's the 1st of September. I am swapping all my projects over into more autumny bags as I get to them, and I think this is what I did. Right, so I worked out a striping sequence, because you remember I had a bit of a problem with one of these. So what I've done is, this is my first striping sequence. I haven't put them together yet because I should say this is a Christmas blanket that I'm doing. It's a Christmas granny square blanket that I'm doing. I don't want to keep showing it on the podcast so that you get bored with it, but so this is my net square combination. I've worked it out, so I've done a, okay, that's somehow wrong, but there we go. So it's going to be a gold, no, it starts the other end, hold on. Okay, well somehow I've done it around the wrong way, so it should be a gold one to start with, but it will be that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. So there'll be those 3 and then 2 of those with the golds, and then I'm going to have those 3 and 2 of those with whatever colour's the next colour. Have I balled up the next colour? Yes, I have. That colour, that's the next colour. That's a Lay Family yarn. So that will go in between that one. So I'll have 5 of those, and that will work, and I think that sequence will work if I've got I'm slightly short. Now I did manage to eke a 3rd one out of this one, but only because that one, if you look carefully, has a different yarn. So I had to improvise and finish it off with a different one, but I don't think you're going to notice that when it's in a blanket. So the actual blanket is looking like this, just so you get an idea. And this will be for Christmas, so it'll only come out on the 1st of December when I get it finished. If I ever get it finished. I'm really enjoying it. I just spent quite a bit of time playing with working out what combination I was going to do when, but I'm glad I got that sorted. So that's day 4, crochet day. So day 5 is Here Comes the Whip, and this is a section that is basically where I'm working on something that was an old whip until I get it finished, and I have a finished object. So I have finished my Habitations row in my yarn by Lay Family Yarn, which was an Advent, and if I turn it around that way as well, it's washed, it's blocked, it's huge and drapey, and I absolutely adore it. And there should hopefully be some video footage that I took of it on the line yesterday. I was going to take some more footage of it, but then it rained so it didn't happen. But yeah, I love this. This is so nice. It smells amazing. I love that smell of just washed wool. And I've started using the Purcell wool wash, like hand washing for silk and wool, and it's so soft and lovely. Because as much as I love all the like Elan and what's the other one that we all use? Can't remember its name. I haven't got that much of it. It's difficult to get hold of, and I have to mail order it at the moment because obviously we're not going to shows and things. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to get myself some of this because I have so much I block, And then I hand wash all my jumpers as well after the felting incident. It's really nice. You do have to rinse it. It's not a no rinse wool wash, but oh, it's so soft. So that is my Habitations row in my Lay Family Yarn advent, and leads me into my next Here Comes the Whip, which is hanging out in my lovely Parfum bag. I love this bag. It's by Busy Pottering. Absolutely adore it. And it has in it another Habitation throw in another advent. So this is my advent from Sherry Iris last year. And we are... So I had started it, I'd got halfway through the purple, and then I gave up on it and decided, because I was alternating working on this one and working on the Lay Family Yarn one, and then I realised that it means I'd be ages before I got both of them. So I stopped, concentrated on the Lay Family Yarn one. So this is now in Here Comes the Whip. I was really tempted to do the sleeves on my Ingrid, which is a jumper that I've got, but to be honest, I'm so close to finishing that Edie, I shall stick it into garments and then I can knit on a new garment. So anyway, this is the Habitation throw, which is from Knitvent 2019 by Curious Handmade. I think it's available as a single pattern now. And oh, it's such a clever idea. They're so pretty, these. I am going to knit, unlike my last one where I ended up with a couple of minis that didn't go in it because somehow I messed up the math. I'm going to knit this until all 12 of the minis are in it, and then I'll start decreasing. And if I end up with not enough, I have loads of Sherry Iris minis I can add into it, so I will do that. But yeah, it's so pretty, isn't it? I just think I ought to work on some of my advents before I get, you know, my next lot. I just want to sit and knit all day, you know, that would be good. So that's my current work in progress. So that's my day 5, Here Comes the Whip. So day 6 is my scrappy project day, and at the moment I'm working on the Northeasterly by Skenanigans, and it's living in my I Liked Party bucket by Ginny Makes. So this has a needle cozy from Craft House Magic, which is quite appropriate for today. It's a rainy sky. And okay, so this is what I'm working on. I tell you what, you don't want to drop a side stitch on this thing. I had a runner the other day in the car, because it was what I was knitting on one of our adventures, and the whole of this side from here down to here undid itself. I was like, oh my goodness. So if it looks a bit scraggy on that bit, that's why. And I'm hoping it will come out with blocking. But I was there. I don't look like I've done an awful lot of this. I think it's because I must have spent so much time trying to pick up those stitches. And this is West Green Loft Yarns. So I'm doing a different dye per strip. So that's West Green Loft Yarns. That was Lay Family Yarn. That was Craft House Magic. That was Down Sheepy Lane. That was Hedgerow Yarns. And that is Sherry Iris. And I am now starting on this bottom section here. Isn't that pretty? And this is Giddy Yarns. And this is from the Winnie the Pooh collection. I'm just going into that one, which I'm guessing is Pooh. So yeah, that was my first bit on that one. So I'm now going to go up there, and what I'm thinking is I will probably finish this section off and possibly do my next one, because my next one is Woolly Goodness. And then I think that's all my dyers for this, except for odd random skeins that I haven't got enough of, which I think will be my halfway point with the width of this. And then I think once I've done that, because then I'll be adding to the length, I may have a break and work on one of my other scrappy projects for a little while, but I may not. I do love it. It's just I am so showing you the wrong side right now. That way round. Yeah, I do love it. It's just that I get bored. So I was thinking I want to try and work on my bits and bobs blanket as well. So there's a whip from the past. Talk about here comes the whip. So yeah, so that's a pattern by the lovely Shenanigans, and is my northeasterly. So that is day 6, Scrappy Project Day. Next up is my cozy memory blanket, and that is hanging out in a bag by Busy Pottering. Now I think I'm behind on this now. I think I'm about 4 squares behind, so I need to catch this up at some point. My new routine of working out every morning is eating into my knitting a square time, so I need to sort out what I'm going to do about that. But so yeah, I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have 7, so I'm at least 2 squares behind. Oops. So that one is Woody Goodness from her blanket box. That is Lay Family Yarn from my socks. That is also Lay Family Yarn from my socks. That is Woody Goodness from her blanket box, as is that one. Isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. So yeah, I definitely need to do yesterday's, and I haven't done today. So yeah, I definitely need to knit some more of these. I might do that while I'm editing today and try and catch it up. See, I fall behind too. In fact, I have to say that running the cowl of the square a day, I feel like I should be an example. Oh, I failed this week. But I love this. They're getting quite big, aren't they? I saw Molly on a Homespun house yesterday had said that she finished hers off and put an I-cord binding around it, and she said it was quite big, and she'd done about 270, which is what our next check-in is. So you know, you should have quite a good size lap blanket now. And then also, as I said, if you did it over and did one each year, by the end of the 4 years you could have a really big one, couldn't you? Because you could seam them all together. So I mean, I was thinking about doing that, but I think my girls are going to nab them before then. But never mind, I don't mind. It's a good excuse to keep knitting them, isn't it? And I'm not bored with it yet. I thought I might be. I thought maybe next year I could do, you know, like a square a day or my Battenberg blanket or something. But I love this cozy memory blanket, so I don't know. Watch this space. That's a decision for January. So that's the end of the actual knitting. I've got a few other bits and pieces to chat about with you. First of all, embroidery. So I am making a journal cover for my next journal. I think there's a good chance that I will have started the journal before I've made the cover, but never mind. I did that with the last one. I didn't do a cover for it until I had it for quite a while. So I am making Autumn at the Stitchery, little autumn wreath, because it's going to be my autumn journal. And I haven't got that, looking at it now, it doesn't look like I've got that far with it, but I've done the wreath bit around the outside, which is what's it called? Ah, that's escaping me, hold on. Whip stitch, that's it, it's a whip stitch. So that took me a little while, because basically you do each stitch twice. And I'm now just filling in all the little toadstools, because I fancied sewing in a different colour to the brown, so I did those instead. But I love that, so pretty. So the idea is I'm going to make this into a journal cover. If you don't know what I'm talking about, because you're new here, if you look back on my Instagram feed, it's probably the easiest way, you will see a journal cover I made for my journal last month, I think it was last month, using English paper piecing. So I thought I'd have another go and I'd make an autumn one, and I'd already bought this autumn kit, so I was like, oh, let's use that because I've already got it. I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to make it into the cover yet, but I'm sure I can back it onto something and it will work. And that's hanging out in this lovely little bag that I got through Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted, which was perfect for keeping this in. And I've got another one on the go at the moment, which is a Stitchery sampler, but I haven't worked on that recently because I'm doing this to try and get it done. So that's my embroidery this week. So if you remember last week, I had finished my braid from Hedgerow Fibres, and I've started spinning, this is spinning, sorry, a battling from Owl About Yarn, and I don't know if you can see that there, that there is black sparkly, and it's red and it's blue, and I think there's some green in there as well. I haven't got to the green bit yet. So yeah, I'm spinning that. My wheel has developed a fault, which hubby is trying to fix for me. Where the flyer goes in at the top, the two uprights, one of my uprights has gone whoop, which means when I'm spinning, eventually the bobbin just goes way across the room because this bit parts and it goes woo, which is not ideal when you're spinning. Cats think it's hysterical though. And this is a Anchorworks bobbin. I love these. So I'm going to spin all of the battling in these colours onto this one, and I'm going to spin all of a white one onto another one, and the idea is I'm going to apply the two together because I think that would be quite stunning. Yeah, so that's what I'm spinning at the moment. I'm enjoying it when my bobbin stays on the flyer. I mean, it's taken a whole new meaning to the word flyer, I tell you. Right, so that's that. So next up is the little section I do on my journaling, and I said to you last week I'd show you this, and I haven't got it with me. So this is the little journal I got from Carol's Recrafted Boutique. She has a podcast, so if you want to learn how to make tags and journals and things, if you go watch her, she's really good. And she posts at least a weekly video, possibly more than that. So this was a traveller's one that she did, size one anyway, which I bought to put my holiday stuff in. Now I have stuck in all the photographs that I'm going to use. That's got the receipt for our meal because we started it off with the meal of Into the Blue, so that's got photos of the food on it. And then if you go through to, I've only done a couple of pages, so I've stuck all the photos in, but now I'm decorating the pages. So that there has got a list of what all the photos are on the back. Take it out, you can see it. It's got a list of all the photos on the back, and that lives tucked in there. There we go. And yeah, I've just decorated the page, and then the next one I've also decorated the page, but I've also found out some facts about the nature reserve for this one. Again, that has got what the photos are on it, and I'm just having real fun decorating and putting stickers on and things. So the next page I haven't done yet, so this is where I will be working on next. But all of this has now got photos stuck in, so I've got all the photos in, but I need to do all of the, now so this little, things like this little tag came with it, so I haven't used that yet, sorry. Yeah, I haven't used that yet, that's just blank. So I will go through and use that as well. And there's a little pocket at the back with some ephemera bits in as well. Now I didn't quite have enough pages in this signature, which is what these pages are called, but Carol sent me some papers with this, and very kindly, so I made myself a little signature out of it, thanks to Kate of the Last Homely House, who showed me how to make these on one of her videos, which was great. I mean, she didn't actually personally show me, I learned how to do it on one of her videos. And that would have been earlier on this year, February. It was either late February or early March, because I bought the book that she made on the video that she showed us how to do it on just before lockdown, because I bought it to have, because it's got budgies on it, and I bought it to use at work because I thought it'd be fun to have something fun at work, and then I stopped working at the office and had to work from home. So yeah, so I had to add a few more pages in, which I have done, and I have got photos going in there. So if you're not sure, if you buy one of these books and you're not quite sure where to begin, I have begun with a holiday and just stuck in various photos. So these are photos I have just, that was the M25 and the M23 really flooded out. I have just printed these off on our printer. I mean, you could, if you use Photobox or TruePrint, you can get them printed. I think it's 10p if you do over a batch of 50. Which actually, if you consider how much it costs in paper and ink, is probably quite reasonable. So I've done that for, we were lucky enough to go to Africa on safari a couple of years ago, and I have never done anything with the photos, so I have gone back and ordered a load of the Africa photos, and I'm going to do one of these for Africa. I think it'll be a nice keepsake. So that's my journaling spot this week. Now into Happy Mail. I'm going to run journaling into Happy Mail because I got a pack from So Ray Me. So Rachel of So Ray Me is doing some lovely journaling packs, and you get all sorts of little bits and pieces that you can use to decorate, and I will probably use this to decorate this particular pack. I think the theme for this one was in fact nature, so it would be quite useful to use. So that's some stickers and a flower. It'll be useful to use these for that particular journal. Yeah, you get a few other kind of bits and pieces to stick in as well. They're really good little packs, these. I'm not going to sit there and show them all to you, because if you go on Rachel's vlog she's done, you will see it. Now, also, big, huge spoiler. I managed to get one of Rachel's, this is the first one I've ever done, one of her mystery boxes. So if you have not got yours, because I know there's a lot of people buy these, please look away. And if I can work it out, I will put a timestamp at the bottom here how it looks. So you get a few bits and pieces. So there was some tea, a little card that I will use in my journal, some sweeties, a lovely bar of soap, which it all comes wrapped beautifully. It's Orange and Ylang Ylang, which, oh, it's lovely. My only problem with lovely soap like this is if I leave it out in the bathroom, everybody else uses it as well as me. It's like, no, go away, leave it alone. Lovely postcard. Again, I will use that for journaling. Or I may use that in one of our prize packages. That's always possible. You may end up with me writing on that to you if you win a prize. And then there is a project bag, which is really pretty. I think this may have to go away as a spring project bag. It's really pretty. And then there's always a dier, and this just made me laugh. I was obviously meant to get this box because the dier for this one is the lovely Sherry Iris. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. I love it. And it did make me chuckle. I messaged Sherry and went, you kept that quiet. But how funny that I should get the one time I'm successful in getting one of Rachel's boxes, it's Sherry is the dier. So that was cool. So that's what you get in your box. I absolutely love it. I'm really, really pleased with it. It's good value for money as well. Right. Okay, so if you looked away, you can look back now, but hopefully you fast forwarded. My Yarny Happy Mail this week is also a club. So if you have not got your 1970s Nostalgia Club from Giddy Yarns, look away. And this is just so much fun. Isn't that lovely? I love these. I think I've worked out, of all the ones there are, I've worked out what at least 3 out of the 4 are. But I'm stuck on which ones of these 2 are. But I shall look forward to Helen telling us at some point. But they're really pretty. They're super fun, super bright. Right, so you can look back now. That's it for Happy Mail. It's a light Happy Mail this week. I did get my Lay Family Yarn Advent Calendar, which you are sitting on at the moment. It's part of my setup for my tripod. But yeah, I'm trying to ignore the fact it's there. Right, so just going to chatter. I haven't got an awful lot to chat about this week. The flat buying is going through. The offer was accepted. And it's all going through. It's with solicitors, etc, etc. Hopefully they'll be moved by the end of October, which is exciting. So I may have a whole new setup by Christmas, which is also exciting. It's probably going to be the only way I'm going to deal with the fact that my daughter is moving out. It's the fact that I'm going to gain a huge, great craft from. Meg is settling in at work, and the first couple of days has gone really well. She's really enjoying it, so that's cool. It's nice to see her happy. I myself am into a new routine of working out every morning. Now, I haven't done it this morning because Thursdays are going to be tricky, in as far as I need to really record the podcast in the morning, so I've got the rest of the day to edit it in between work. And then in the evening I've got brownies, which at the moment we're doing Zoom, so it's not so tricky. But when we go back to face-to-face meetings, which looks possible from December, then I won't be able to do this at all. But not podcast, workout. So my workout at the moment on a Thursday is going to have to be Thursday evening after work. But or I just don't do it on a Thursday. One of the two. I guess if I'm going out to do brownies, that's probably quite a good workout anyway. But I don't quite know what that's going to mean. So at the moment with guiding, guides are going back to, and we're doing alternate outdoor and Zoom meetings because you can't meet indoors yet. And so we're going to do outdoors and then do an indoor one. And then on brownies and rainbows are just going back for Zoom meetings for the moment, but hopefully we'll be able to go back after Christmas. The problem with the brownies and rainbows one is that that's in a school, so it depends on whether the school will allow us to do it. So whether we can do it as we're allowed to do it, that's one thing, but whether the schools will let us is another. So we're waiting to hear about that one. But guides is fine, because guides, we have a guide hut and a huge field, so we can throw them out in the field. So that works all right for that. So we're going back to guiding next week, I think. Yeah, next week. So I'm working out every morning, which I'm really enjoying, which surprised me, and I am feeling the benefit of, definitely. So that's good. It's a positive step anyway. I am taking part in the Southern Wool Show on, by the time you see this actually, on Sunday. They are doing an online virtual wool show. It's the online wool show if you Google it. And they're doing a needle felting class via Zoom, and I am doing that with my middle daughter Charlie. She's going to come on and do it with me, and we're going to make an owl. So at least I feel like I'm doing something towards the Southern Wool Show, even if I can't actually be there, because it was my first ever yarn show, and it was their first ever show doing the Southern. They do spring into wool, but that was their first ever one for the Southern Wool Show. So I'm kind of really fond of it. So being able to support it in one way or another is really lovely, and I'm hoping I'm going to go and browse the exhibitors and maybe buy some minis or something. That's exciting. So I'm doing that at the weekend, and we're going out on Friday for a meal, so I won't have a Friday adventure as such, but we might have a Saturday adventure this week instead, which will be cool. Right, I need to wrap this up because I need to get to work. because, you know, it's Thursday, I need to work. Hopefully there'll be some vloggy bits at the end of this. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care. I will see you next week.